Hi everyone, this is Miss Kari with the Kenton County Public Library from the Covington Branch. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today we are going to make I Spy bottles. So I had posted kind of a list of what you would need, so you need beans, a bottle, rice, shredded paper, pasta, any kind of little trinkets. So I've got like a little dinosaur skeleton here. Got some marbles that we'll be using, a couple little dinos. We had a Monopoly game that was mostly all the pieces were missing except for some hotels and some houses and a couple of the little, got like a little race car from it. So we're gonna use some of those today. Sometimes I had an ugly Christmas sock set that I never use, so I've got a bunch of those little trinkets from that sock set that we're using. I've got some letters, so just some letter beads that we'll be using today. So if you're going to use rice, you could dye your rice beforehand. So all you need to dye your rice is rubbing alcohol and food coloring. So I mix up a solution, I can post the instructions, let it dry, and then you would have colored rice. We are using expired dry rice. And then our beans, I actually took these out. I have a sensory bin that I had made for one of my kids years ago. I just took some of the dry beans out. I'm using black beans and pinto beans for that. So it's really easy. For my jar, I am using, it's like a peanut jar, just from Kroger's, plastic. I would not use glass because kids will drop them. And then I have some duct tape that we're gonna use to seal our bottles. Also, before you start adding everything in, if you want to, you can write down everything you're going to add into your bottle. So then the kids can have their sheet and they know what to look for. That's one way to do it. Another way is I made a tic-tac-toe board. So the way we play, I listed some of the stuff I'm putting in here, not all of it, because then you can make different boards. You could also do a bingo board. So you make this board, and then I get a turn, and I try to find something on the card. And when I find it, I get to put my marker down. And then I would give it to my son, Colin. And then he would try to find something. So you're always trying to find what you want to get tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. So that's one way to do it. You could do bingo. You could also make 2 bottles with the exact same stuff and have your kids race to find different things in them. You can make one with just all letter beads and have your child try to spell out different words by finding the beads. You could do numbers in there and do some multiplication or some math. You can make these kind of almost any way you would like. So for today, we're just gonna do a bunch of different trinkets. So what I like to do is I start out with some rice. If you need a funnel, you can use a funnel. If you don't have a funnel at home, you can easily make one by just rolling up a piece of paper and sticking that one's a little too small. I don't need a funnel for this because it's a wide mouth jar. I'm just gonna put some rice in there. And then I'm gonna start adding some trinkets. So you kind of just wanna do it in layers. That way your stuff gets in there well and not everything's sitting on the bottom. You also don't wanna fill it all the way up because you wanna leave room for movement in there so you can mix it up once it's in there. So I have some colored pasta already left over from when I make I Spy ornaments at Christmas time for my niece and nephews. So I had some leftover pasta from that. I'm guessing this stuff probably lasts forever. So add that in. Dinosaur. Oh, my beans. I'm gonna add in some beans. More stuff. Some rice. More stuff there. I also got sequins in there. I've got a little Lego guy in there. Marbles. We did this this past summer at the library. We did space in a jar, and we used a lot of these cat eye marbles as planets. That was a lot of fun. Some more skeleton pieces. A bow. star. Another good thing is to use those little pony beads. Just put different colors of those in there. Add in some beans. Top that off with some rice. Looks so good. I'll leave about that much space, a couple inches. Take all that around. If you're adventurous, you can add glitter in there to make it pretty. I'm not gonna get the glitter out today. Oh, I forgot this. Let's say you don't have rice or beans at home. You could use cut up paper in yours. If you have a paper shredder, you could shred the paper in that. Some of that in there, so you're gonna get that to mix in. Okay, and then you would just take your duct tape and you tape that lid. If you want it to have it even more secure, you could add glue on that. I would not do hot glue. I don't think it sticks well. I usually use tacky glue. So you put your tacky glue on, twist the lid on, and then you would go around it with the tape. Try not to cover up. You want to still be able to see in that jar at the top. So I only take it maybe about a ½ inch down from the lip of the jar, or where that lid is. So thank you. That's about all I have today. So in my jar that I made the other day, I put in a cell phone piece, and it's so hard to find. I know that thing's in there, but it's really fun. I had a lot of fun just playing with this. I'm just sitting around in my little self-quarantine world. So this is one that Colin and I have been playing with. We've been playing our tic-tac-toe game. He does pretty well. It's a lot of fun. So if you go ahead and complete this project, please feel free to post your pictures on this feed. Would love to see everyone's completed project. If you have any additional tips or tricks for I Spy, go ahead and post those as well. If you didn't have a jar, you could do this using one of those clear storage containers. Just make sure you tape up the lid really well. You want your product to be clear though. I would not use anything that's like the opaque or even like a colored clear, like something that's tinted. Go ahead and make sure it's clear. That's gonna be the best. This one's one of those Voss bottles. I love these bottles. And I don't buy bottled water a lot, but when I do, I make sure I buy Voss because I save these and I make sensory bottles with these. I have made sensory bottles using hair gel, baby oil, pom-poms, lots of different things. I make those for some of my relatives. Like I said before, I've made the ornaments. Those are a lot of fun to do at Christmas time. So thank you for joining me today, and I can't wait to see everyone back at the library. Be sure to check out all of our resources on our website at kentonlibrary.org. You can download books using the Libby app. We have different databases, so if maybe you're struggling with science with your kids, we have Pebble Go. That's a great resource for kids to use for that. Just make sure you're using our chat reference if you have any questions related to your library account. We do have staff who are able to access library accounts from our work computers, and we can get any of your account issues resolved through the chat. Again, thank you for tuning in, and can't wait to see everyone back at the library. Have a good night.